Hey, it's Dorleen, and today I'm working on a junk journal spread. If you saw my flip throughs, you already saw this, and I did explain to you that that Eiffel Tower image was from a napkin that I made copies of. I scanned and then made copies of, and I fussy cut that out, put it on there, put some red and green paints. I even added some gold. And after all that, I realized I didn't like it for the picture that I had chose. So that's why I'm deciding to work on it today. I'm using some white gesso with that old Starbucks gift card to spread it all over and to cover some of that background. I'm still kind of just messing around with what I'm doing, but that is the fun part about an art journal slash junk journal is, or at least in my opinion, is not really knowing where you're going. Like I have a general idea, but I just wasn't sure. I did pull out some Christmas scraps, papers and stickers and things that I use when I make my Christmas gift tags. So I will be going through a lot of that. A lot of that is off scene or off camera, but you can tell by the way I'm moving things around that I'm just fussing it. So those little gnomes were from a free graphic that I got from, I want to say the company is Creative Fabrica, but I will figure it out for sure, and I will have their link below and also on my blog. On my blog, I'll have more information about what I'm doing, the products that I've used, and close-ups and just more information. I always feel like that comment box below just doesn't give us much room, and it's just so much easier for me to type on my blog than it is on that little square. So you notice that I put some white acrylic paint over it because I still felt like there was still a lot showing from underneath. But if you notice, even with the white acrylic paint on top, I can still, or you can still see the red and green stripes, which is great because I still want it to be a Christmas theme, and that's your standard Christmas colors. I thought I was going to put a bunch of frames over on that left side, so I was still going with that same mindset. I used a square punch to create these frames, which are similar to like a Polaroid frame. The first one I did is I actually cut the cardstock. I'm talking about the red one, and then I punched the square, and you can see from the picture that how wonky that is, and you'll see me fix that later. So the second time I did it, I punched the square first and then I trimmed around it so that green one looks so much better. And then I just filled it with a piece of scrap paper that I thought was very whimsical, those little candies, and that's the look I was going for. And I was really happy with that. So next you'll see me, here I'm fixing the square again, or the Polaroid frame, so that it's more even and not so crooked and better for what I'm trying to do here. And again, I'm still just kind of playing with it. Now you'll see me pull out some scraps and different things to pretty up this page. Now this journal spread is really similar to a scrapbooking layout because there is a photo and I'm playing with different elements to complete it. But I think that's what's so fun about this junk journal, or in my opinion, my junk journal, is a little bit of everything. There's some that I just put quotes on. There's some that I experiment, different type of mediums or products that I buy. And then there's some where I add photos and make it similar to a scrapbooking page. That's what I like about it. And the fun thing, again, is that it's mine and I am deciding what I'm putting on there. So there's no rules in my opinion, and it just makes it very personal. I am using a liquid glue to adhere everything, and that glue is a scrapbooking or a paper glue, so it doesn't warp the paper as much, and I really do love it, and you notice that I use that almost for everything. But I am using a wet adhesive because if you use a double-sided or like a Tombow tape runner type thing, that's not going to give good adhesion because of the wetness of the different type of medium. So the wet glue is really your best choice when you're adding elements like this. But I still wanted to keep it fairly flat because it is in a journal and not in a scrapbook page. So I'm pretty much done with the left side, and now I'm working on the right side, and again just using scrap papers. I really like that the candy paper, and that's why I did that first strip with there. And then the red strip, you can tell they were just punched from a hole punch that I had kept that scrap, which you don't know what I just keep the weirdest things, but it ended up being super cute right there. So I really did like that. And as I'm writing this, I realized that I really should have put define nice instead of good, but I didn't want to redo it and define good worked fine for me. So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, okay, am I done? And then I realized, nah, I'm not. I wanted to add just a little bit more whimsy, and that's why I added just little hand-drawn stars here and there. And I'm just using a black gel marker. It's nothing fancy. I think it's even like a Bic. But again, I'll put that information on my blog, which the address will be down below. And I'm just hand drawing them, here, there, and everywhere. And I'm still thinking, it needs a little more. So I pull out my stencil, and these are just regular little dots. And you'll see me pull out some red acrylic paint. And instead of using a sponge, mostly because I was just lazy to go and pick it up, I'm just using my finger to add some circles just here and there. But the nice thing for this is I wasn't really looking for an exact impression of that stencil, so using my finger for that was fine. And you see how it's a little splotchy and messy, but I like that. And on that side, I just turned the stencil over, which had that leftover ink, but it was just a little too messy. So you'll see me later put some more paint on there and put some dots with that, which I like the way that looked so much better, because I do like polka dots, and I never realized how much I like it until I started looking at my work, and everything just seems to have dots on it. But that's a simple shape, and it's still fun and can go with anything. I'm just doing that just here and there on the different pages, and I really do like the way that this page turned out, my messy fingers. If you're not a subscriber of mine, please consider hitting the subscribe button below. You can also hit the notification bell to be notified of future videos. I post at least one a week, and I hope you like this video. Please give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next week. Bye.